Welcome back. You're still watching Perspective, and we're talking to Rian Gondokusumo from Seribu.com and Seribulancer.com. Still on outsourcing. In Indonesia, how is crowdsourcing at the current time? And what does it represent? How many companies are into it? How many? Well, I don't want precise figure in general.
Okay.
According to you.
In Indonesia, crowdsourcing is relatively new. So I think it's still in early stage. Right now, we are the only company that is doing this business.
Oh, really?
But according to the overseas market, whole wide world, crowdsourcing in industry is about 4 billion US.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's what do you call it? The numbers just keep on increasing every year.
So when you say you're the first using crowdsourcing, just in terms of that sector, or is there any other company that's doing crowdsourcing in other sectors? For example, I don't know, agriculture or technology or whatever.
Right now,
not that you know.
Not that I know of. There is other company that is doing something related to crowd, but they call it crowdfunding. But that's not the area.
Not the same.
Yeah,
that's
correct,
not the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Another thing, when you operate this, no matter how small the company is, you need funding.
Correct.
You seeking funding, or are you self-sufficient in that sense?
Right now, we actually had raised twice seed funding from a company called East Ventures. They are a Singaporean-based company.
Oh,
yeah.
Singaporean.
Singapore, and in 2012.
Right.
And then we raised another round in Series A 2014, early last year. Right. In February as well, from a Japanese company called Infoteria.
And this is for Seribu.com or Seribulancer, or both of them?
For both, for the company.
Right. Why is it more foreign in that sense? Are they more interested? Isn't there anybody in Indonesia who's willing to do it, or what?
I think it's because in Indonesia, a startup or like this online company are relatively new. Yeah,
but there's a lot of them. I mean, startup in Indonesia is it's gaining ground fast. Now people, when you say startup, they understand what it is. Not 5 years ago, maybe not, but when you say startup, they understand. And online usually is the cheapest startup. For example, you don't need physical presence, basically.
Correct.
And still, no one is really interested in funding these things.
I think it's when we deal with our investors, right? I particularly is quite meticulous about it too.
Right.
I want our investors, whoever invested in us, is to have the same perspective, the same culture as well. And I did talk with some of the local investors, but probably not the timing wasn't right yet.
Right yet.
There are some local investors, they are also good. Yeah. But altogether, I think, in my opinion, as an entrepreneur, the ecosystem in Indonesia is still a bit early.
Right.
Yeah, so there are a lot of startups coming up. But you know, in startup,
maybe people don't dare to put their money in startups, or is it what?
Yes, a lot of people are.
It's a bit risky. It's a risky asset, let's
Correct.
say. Oh, okay.
Correct, because in startup we are talking about valuation instead of like when are you going to give me my return.
Right.
So it's two different cases, and what do you call? Although there are some local investors in Indonesia, the number is not as
big as
correct.
Talk about online businesses as well. Usually, it's very closely equated to growth. I mean, in online, you don't. One of your measure is whether you grow or not. What about you two companies?
Our companies grow positively year by year. So we actually grow about close to 80% last year.
Wow!
Yeah.
I wish Indonesia is growing by that percentage.
Yeah.
80%.
80% for Seribu. Seribulancer is relatively new.
Right.
So, but I think we are aiming for a more than 100% growth for Seribulancer as well.
In what term? In terms of period, for example?
The number of job postings.
Oh, okay.
And the number of users that register in our website. Those two are the critical KPIs that we usually check.
And this is growing?
Yes.
Or are you saying? I think this is completely new market. There's a lot of opportunity here.
I think when for Seribu Lancer, when we started it, we feel that the market is bigger than Seribu.
Oh, okay.
So
you didn't think it was, there's no considerations like maybe the market is not ready yet or what, something like that?
That is back again because according to the data that we receive, right,
Right.
like the Indonesian market, like yearly base, their internet penetration is going up. So
Right.
we are going
Oh,
all together
okay,
with
you're
them.
also going with them with
Yeah, so
it's
right now
going up?
about 80, 90 million people are using internet, right?
Yeah.
So we follow the trend as well.
It's, why did you particularly single out, for example, IT or technology side? Why not choose something else? What is the consideration for that?
Okay, I think in online business, since my background was in electrical engineer, last time we were being taught a lot about critical thinking, about
Right.
data analysis, and
Right.
that's a thing that I'm enjoying.
Right.
I have always have a passion in this
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
So in online industry, every day you have to deal with data.
Okay.
So a lot of data-driven decision, data analysis, and those are the things that I love.
Mhm.
So I feel that I'm actually part of the right industry, and the industry is like booming right now. So I don't want to miss the train as well.
Yes. One other thing when you say of online, online there's, like I said, there's a whole lot of variety of startup. What differentiate you from example from other online companies?
Okay, I think
Do you have something unique? I don't know.
it's back to our business model again. Crowdsourcing.
okay.
We are
Crowdsourcing.
the one and only for both Seribu and Seribu Lancer.
Right.
And the next thing is, I think is as a pioneer in this industry, right? Altogether is a difference maker already.
You set the standards.
Yes, correct.
Okay, we will have to break again. Please stay with us. We will be back.